Hi everyone, and welcome again to my YouTube channel, Woman Enough for Marriage, a channel dedicated to looking at issues related to marriage and looking at what God's word, which is our manual, says about them, in acknowledgement of the fact that no man can be man enough for marriage and no woman can be woman enough for marriage. Thank you for tuning in once again. If you find this channel useful, please subscribe, share with others, and let them benefit from it as well. Thanks for all the people that have been encouraging me and sending comments and feedbacks and things. It's much appreciated. Right, so today I want to talk about the dangers of comparison, and that's what I've titled it, Real Grass versus Astroturf, because real grass is real, Astroturf is artificial, and when we start to compare the two, there's actually no basis sometimes for comparison because they are different. And when I was thinking about this topic, it actually occurred to me that right from when we're very, very young, as children, we get introduced to the concept of comparison. We learn that something is bigger, something is more. We learn measurements, we learn sizes, we learn standards, and generally that's how we make sense of life. So comparison in itself is not a bad thing because we need comparison to make sense of life. But as we go along, we then start to learn the unhealthy use of comparison, where we start to compare ourselves with ourselves. And that's where the problem starts. 2 Corinthians 10:12, I'll read the latter part of it. It says, when they measure themselves by themselves and compare themselves with themselves, they lack wisdom and behave like fools. So basically, when we compare ourselves with ourselves, we are behaving like fools. It says they lack wisdom, those who do that, and they behave like fools. Unhealthy comparison does two things to us. It either makes you feel good about yourself, so you can, you feel good, because I'm better, because you've compared yourself with someone, and you feel you're better than them. Or it makes you feel bad. It makes you feel discontent about yourself or about your situation or about your marriage, when we start comparing our spouses and our marriages with other people's spouses and marriages. And like they say, comparison is the thief of joy. When you start comparing yourself with other people, it takes your joy away, especially when you feel that, they're better than me. Comparison leads to envy, it leads to jealousy. And so it's something that we really need to be careful about. And we all fall into these pitfalls in marriage. I remember once my husband and I went to visit a couple friend, and I could see, the husband was in the kitchen and cooking and cleaning. And my husband is not very domesticated. He has never been, we're still working on it. And I remember leaving them afterwards thinking, how I wish my husband could be like that. But the fact is, when we do such comparisons, we fail to look at other areas of our lives where we're actually, if we're talking about comparison, that is better than the other people. We fail to look at qualities. In my case, I fail to look at other areas in which my husband is good. Nobody is perfect. We don't all have it perfect. Everybody has what is good. They have their strength and their weaknesses. And we would do wrong by trying to compare ourselves and our marriages with other people's marriages. There is a popular saying that the grass is always greener on the other side. And if the grass is greener on the other side, have you ever considered that it might be astroturf? It might not be real grass. And even if it is real grass, if you're standing where you're standing and you think the grass is greener, you only need to get closer, because if I'm looking at our grass from afar off. I don't see the patches. I don't see the dry edges. I just see green grass because from the point I'm looking at, I can't see the patches. So even if it is real grass, you can't see the patches. And so it's important when we start to compare ourselves with ourselves. When we're looking at our neighbor's lawn, when we're looking at the grass next door and it looks greener, let's remember that the angle at which we're looking might be deceptive. It might be the angle that is stopping you from seeing that actually that grass is not greener. When we see couples outside, when we see other married couples, sometimes because we see very little snippets of their lives, we might feel, oh, their marriage, they're doing better than us, their marriage is better. But that little snippet of their lives that you see, maybe because you see them, they're doing, what we call PDA, public display of affection, and you think, oh, they're so lovey-dovey, loving couple. You are not to know what's going on behind closed doors. You are not to know. And you will be there thinking, oh, look at them, they love each other. And then you're becoming discontent with your own lawn, with your own marriage, because you're comparing yourself with them. No marriage is perfect. And I like to say that I'm not doing this because my marriage is perfect. It's far from it. My marriage is not perfect. If anybody tells you their marriage is perfect, it's the height of deception. It is the height of deception. And so we need to be careful when we're starting to compare what is real with what is artificial. And that leads me to social media. We live in a world where everything has to be picture perfect. Even when you take pictures, now they can modify it and adjust it and make you look perfect, make you look slimmer, make you look lighter and brighter, make your skin glow and all this. And all these things infuse into marriage as well. Everybody wants to have the picture of a perfect marriage. And so when you see pictures on social media of this, lovely couple going on this wonderful holiday and pictures splashed all over, you're there thinking, oh, how I wish my marriage can be like, how I wish we can do this, how I wish we can do that. You don't know whether they've had to borrow to go on holiday. You don't know the storm that preceded the romantic holiday that they went on to. But all you see is what you see on social media. And if you start to compare your marriage with that, then you become discontent. Marriage is like real turf. It needs looking after constantly. So even though I'm not suggesting that, every marriage that you see, everybody is faking it, or, the joy or the harmony of what you see is not real. That's not what I'm suggesting. But I'm suggesting that marriage is like real turf. It needs working on. It needs seeding, it needs wetting, it needs mowing, you need to mow your lawn, you need to look after it to look green. Let's even say the grass is greener. Yes, this marriage is your ideal marriage. You look at this couple and they are like your ideal couple. You aspire for your marriage to be like them. You only need to get closer to them and ask them, and they will tell you that, well, our grass has not always been this green. We had patches, we had things that we had to work on, we had things that we had to do to make sure that our grass stays green. When we see patches, areas that needs working on, we work on it, which is what marriage is all about. It's about being committed to working on it. It's about being committed to growth and development. There's nothing wrong in looking at marriages and thinking, oh wow, I want my marriage to be like that. There's nothing wrong with that. But let's remember that if other people are looking after their lawns, they're looking after their grass, and we're neglecting our lawns, grass don't automatically grow. Grass don't automatically stay green. That's Astroturf. That's not real. Real grass needs working on. We need to keep working on our marriages. If we say, admire people, standards that we see, we need to keep aspiring and working on our marriages, not comparing ourselves with ourselves. Because, like we read, those that do that, they are not wise. It's actually foolishness to compare yourselves with other people. We are different individuals on different journey. We need to appreciate each other's uniqueness, learn contentment in our marriages and relationships while we keep working on areas that need improvement. So let's beware of the dangers in comparison. Thank you so much for joining me again. I hope you've, picked one or two things in the video today that you can apply to your own life and marriage and relationship. Let's remember that marriage is to be enjoyed, not to be endured. Thank you so much, and God bless.